Friendswood Planning Zoning Commission regular meeting is now called to order. We'll start with communications from the public. In order to comply with provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the Commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under this agenda item. However, the Commission may direct such subjects to be placed on a later regular Commission agenda for discussion and/or possible action. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak at this time? No? Next is our consent agenda. These items are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner so requests, in which case the item would be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting held Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Mann, Commissioner Conrad. We have a motion, a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Next action items. Item A1, AI, conduct a public hearing regarding proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning to amend Section 8 Supplementary District Regulations, Subsection M, Commercial Activities and Temporary Uses, Paragraph 2, Temporary Outdoor Sales of the Friendswood City Code to update the regulations pertaining to temporary outdoor sales activities, including consolidating the provisions for outdoor sales and special events. Aubrey, staff summary?
Yes, sir. So these are changes that we've been discussing at the February and March meetings. So this is the official recommendation, or the official public hearing to consider any last minute comments. At our March meeting, there was a couple of comments that we did address. There was one comment about the timing. And so we did clarify that all outdoor activities must cease operations by 10 p.m. The sentence was worded a little weird, so we put a period and just made that statement that all activities have to cease by 10. So that was a good catch. And then we did clarify, but the number of permits applies per lot. So most of the, a lot of property owners, it's just one single business, but on some of them that might be in shopping centers, we would apply it per lot. So we're going to require landlord signatures so that not, like if you had 10 businesses in a shopping center, each business being allowed to have 6 events per year might get a little overwhelming. So we limit it per lot. Some of the shopping centers we looked at them, most of them are actually divided up into like 2 or 3 lots. So I think it'll work out. We can monitor it for 6 months and maybe revisit this at our retreat at the end of the year and kind of see how it's going. But other than that, I think we're in a good place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any public comments? I saw you just came in. We're talking about the we're discussing the changes to commercial activities and temporary uses, supplementary district regulations, and temporary outdoor sales. So if you'd like to speak, if you could fill out a card real quick.
Oh, right here in the,
Oh, sorry.
While we're waiting for him to fill that out, can we make note of that to take a look and see? My concern would be if there are, like at our retreat, if there are, rival businesses that are similar in the same one, and they want to do 6 and they want to do 6, and they've done 4 already, they only get to do 2. All of a sudden, that cannot be good based off of our restrictions.
Right. So the next item is y'all's recommendation. So we can talk about it a little bit more, and if that's something that y'all, if we want to word that differently or make that. That's not, like I said, it was just a staff thought. So tonight's our night to change it. Okay. So we can talk about that on the next item.
Awesome.
Item A2, we'll discuss that. Go ahead.
Okay.
If you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Jacob Finnan. Live at 2718 Hazel Street. I guess my only comments on it would be I like the 30-day permit for I'm with the scoop shop for things like our pumpkin patch and stuff like that. It's very good. That was our struggle this year was timing for that. And, you know, that whole month of October, people really are shopping for pumpkins. And so we had to end it a little bit before Halloween, and people were still needing them for school and stuff like that. So the 30 days is beneficial for something like that. And I heard a mention about 6 per year. I didn't get the whole thing about that, but I didn't know if it was for 6 for all of them, 6 for whichever.
So it's three 30-day events and 6 4-day events.
6 4-day events. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just with that, I mean, I do understand there can be too much in the 3 30-day events. I think it's fine. I don't think anybody would really go over that. For the 4-day events, it's nice to be able to have something for, you know, each holiday, depending on what it may be. I don't have an exact number in mind. 6 might be enough. I need to look into that a little bit more. I'm a little unprepared. Sorry about that. But yeah, I love the 30-day idea. I think the more the better on 4-day ones, you know, obviously depending, it has to depend on what other things are going on and what the business is. But I think that's it. Thank you guys.
I did have one question.
Yeah.
You were saying you like the 30-day, which is great. I just want to clarify. Is that enough? Because you said Halloween for October.
Yeah, I think that's plenty.
Okay.
To start it at the beginning of October and go to Halloween or just before October starts. I think that's I think right now it's 15 days.
Yeah,
correct?
they're 15 now.
Okay. Yeah. So
so
30 is definitely better.
That was a struggle. That was because we kind of actually started too early and then weren't able to go long enough, and it was, you know, we were still having a lot of demand for it. So I think 30 days would be a good spot for us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you guys.
Okay, item A2, consider a recommendation to the City Council regarding propositions or proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning to amend Section 8 Supplementary District Regulations, Subsection M Commercial Activities and Temporary Uses, Paragraph 2 Temporary Outdoor Sales of the Friendswood City Code to update the regulations pertaining to temporary outdoor sales activities, including consolidating the provisions for outdoor sales and special events. We have the motion a second, but do we get a discussion period prior to that?
You can discuss before, or just
Yeah,
do
we'll-
discussion first in case there's changes.
We'll open it to discussion. We'll start with Commissioner Mann.
Yeah, I mean, I made clear like that. I just was concerned with per lot, and if that's even an issue. I mean, I hadn't thought about it until just now. Even when I reviewed it, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense per lot. But then all of a sudden, I started thinking if there are 2 stores in a specific lot, and one is earlier with their paperwork, and now all of a sudden the other people don't get to do theirs. I don't know if that's even an issue. I liked the idea of us just making sure that we take a look at it, and then at a retreat we revisit. But I don't want that to get dropped out. That was all.
Okay. Commissioner Conrad.
The one note that I had, I thought last time we talked about having between 6 or 8 events. But that was just a question mark that was left out there.
Yeah, 8 was a suggestion by another business owner. I think we opted to stick with 6 for now, but that number, I mean, if y'all want to change it, like I said, tonight is the night to make the changes. They're going to go to council. So, and like I said, I think this is a giant step in the right direction.
Right.
Like I said, we can review this at our retreat. I'll put it on the list of things to do at the end of the year and kind of see how it went. And, you know, if we need to make tweaks to it later, we can.
I also think that from the 15-day to 30 days, a huge step. I mean, that would really help a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Mr. Phillips?
I don't have any comments.
Okay. Commissioner Bounds?
Well, I have a tendency to stick with 6 at first and then revisit it if we get comments from the public specifically saying, hey, we do need a little bit more. I mean, he did say it may be a little more, but it wasn't definitive for me. So I'd like to personally stick with 6 and then increase if we need to.
Commissioner Anderson?
Nothing additional, but thank you.
I just gonna put you on the spot, 6 or 8?
6. It's
The,
easier to loosen the belt than to tighten the belt.
the one clarification maybe is if we're doing by the lot. So if the, so if you have several businesses in there and say the property owner decides to have an event, like I know down there at the one down the corner of 2351 and 518 has that big music festival. So that counts towards that one for that entire property?
That corner is actually 4 lots.
Okay. So how would
So-
that work then?
I think so. The very hard corner with the dry cleaners, Subway, that's 1 lot. O'Reilly's is 1 lot, and then like Ace Hardware, and that the rest of that building is 1 lot, and then where like Tuesday morning or Five Below is 1 lot. I think is kind of how it's split up.
Okay.
So, like I said, 6
Well, I
per
thought-
lot. I mean, that's still 24 potential events for that property for the year.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm fine with that. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Okay, anybody got any other concerns, comments?
No.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we pass.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve the action item A, 1 and 2.
A second.
Okay. Commissioner Bounds and Commissioner Anderson. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, item B1, conduct a public hearing regarding proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning, Section 8.2, perimeter landscaping and screening of the Friendswood City Code to give the Planning and Zoning Commission more latitude in considering site conditions and adjacent zoning when approving site plans. Aubrey, staff summary?
Yes, sir. This one again, we've kind of been trailing along with the the other ordinance change. So this is pretty much just rearranging some of the wording that was already in the ordinance. The way that it's written now does give y'all more flexibility. It also, the other significant change was like removing some of the landscaping requirements if a commercial use is established with a specific use permit, which again, it's still, it just gives us more flexibility. Now that we're down to, less than 2,000 acres to develop, it's getting more and more difficult, because there's a lot of existing residential neighborhoods and businesses that are, here and there, and all the vacant pieces are in the middle. So just having that flexibility will be helpful.
Very good. Any public comments on this subject? No? Item B2, consider a recommendation of the City Council regarding proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning, Section 8.2, perimeter landscaping and screening of the Friendswood City Code to give the Planning and Zoning Commission more latitude in considering site conditions and adjacent zoning when approving site plans. Anybody have any questions, concerns, commissioners?
We had the subcommittee on this, and we went through all kinds of scenarios, and I think we were pretty clear of, just looking at each specific spot and area.
Very good. Anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move.
Oh, you got a
Um,
motion to
I'm
approve?
motion to approve it, and we cannot get this out today.
No problem. Mr. Conrad, do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Bounds. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, item C, consider approval of a site plan amendment for the property located at 212 and 214 South Friendswood Drive, also known as the 161 development, which will include the addition of benches per the downtown district regulations, provide for future addition of a patio to the end of the building, a 6-foot brick paved sidewalks along West Shadow Bend Avenue, and new landscaping. Aubrey, staff summary?
Yes, this property is zoned downtown district. Sorry. It's, this is the site where Ocean Sushi is and the Great Harvest Bakery. It's an existing lot. They had to plat to correct some errors on their deeds. So we got that done, and then they've been making some minor improvements to the site. So this just formalizes some of their improvements. They're going to screen the dumpster, all the new trees that they've installed. They are proposing to put the 6-foot wide brick paved sidewalk along West Shadow Bend, which is over and above the required concrete sidewalk. That is included. And then the Ocean Sushi is wanting to put a patio on the Shadow Bend side as well. That will be permitted separately. The drawings that we included are just conceptual, but they would like an outside patio or for outside seating there. The new light fixtures that are part of the FDEDC illumination project have been installed in front of this site. And then TxDOT also installed the sidewalks to the 6-foot width in front of this site as well. So a couple of benches, and it should be pretty much up to code. There are the perimeter trees down the side and across the back. Physically, they can't put them in, so they're bringing the site more into conformance to what they can, but it's all concrete on the edges. And there's probably another proposed development on the lot next door where they're gonna most likely share parking lots and access. So it wouldn't make sense to put the trees over there either. So all in all, it's a good improvement for the development.
Okay. Would the applicant like to speak?
Good evening, Commissioners. Brett Banfield, Banfield Properties. Aubrey did a great job summarizing everything, so I'm just here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. You can go ahead and stand just in case. Or you
Okay.
can sit either way.
All right.
We'll start with comments. We'll start with Commissioner Phillips.
I don't have any comments. I will just say, or no questions, but the comment is that I actually like the proposed elevation of the patio. I like the idea of adding that. It's really the only thing, but I do like the plan.
Commissioner Conrad.
I agree with it. I went and looked at it, plus the site plan, and it looks really good.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mann.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
Thanks.
Commissioner Bounds.
Ditto.
Commissioner Anderson.
To me, everything looks good. Thank you.
Just real quick on the patio for the sushi.
Mm-hmm.
That was originally thought out, but what was the holdup originally on that?
The holdup on it,
Yeah.
we had to, they wanted to, originally they were going to have a smaller patio, but Ocean, they're doing really well, so they wanted to put in a much larger patio.
Okay.
And so that, which is kind of significant change in the site plan. And so they're ready to move forward on that. But they will be constructing that on their own. That won't be us, but this will allow them to permit.
Yeah, very good. I think you've made good improvements to the building. So.
Yes, yeah.
And really, I don't see anywhere you could put trees that they'd actually survive. So.
Yeah. We will be adding some additional trees on the Shadow Bend side to kind of hide the fire closet for the sprinkler system we put in. So kind of hide that.
Where are you gonna put them?
Along Shadow Bend. We'll probably group them together and kind of provide some shade for the patio, just kind of
I think it's
soften the building a little bit.
Shadow Bend towards the back of the property, right?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Conrad,
Second.
Commissioner Mann. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, communications. Item A, announcement of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meetings for Thursday, April 24th, 2025, and Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Item B, receive the March 2025 DRC report. That's in your backup material, but Aubrey, do you have anything to mention on that?
No, sir.
Okay. And we'll take city council updates from our liaison, Mr. Joe Matranga.
Trish sends her regrets. She had another event out of town. So, good evening, commissioners. I had 4 things I wanted to pass along this evening from our April 6th meeting. 1, we approved the creation of a public utility district for Falling Leaf Ranch. 2nd, we approved the de-annexation of some property next to Autumn Creek, and that's going to allow then League City to annex that property, and the developer that's the major part of that development is in League City, and so this is just a small piece that would be hard for Friendswood to develop. In exchange for that, we get some tax benefits that we were sharing some property tax revenue with League City for part of Avalon that was brought into Friendswood. So we get rid of having to share that. They take some property that's easier for them to develop than it would have ever been for us. So I think it worked out well. We approved the staggering of position 1 on planning and zoning. So thank all y'all for accommodating that to kind of spread out those terms. And we approved the modification of Appendix A signs to clarify outdoor use temporary signs to I can't even read my own writing. It's the temporary use signs for approved temporary uses. So that was another thing. We did quite a few other things as well, but those were kind of the things that stood out to me that I would pass along to you this evening. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
If you have any questions,
Appreciate it.
okay. Thank you.
We will continue with communications and comments from our commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Anderson.
Just a appreciation for the packaging of all the material. Everything was well laid out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bounds?
No, thank you to all the support staff. Appreciate their help.
Commissioner Mann?
We do these votes and they happen pretty quick, and it's because the subcommittees do a lot of work, and of course the staff does the bulk of that. But I appreciate the subcommittees taking the time to really get into the weeds on everything, because I know I've been in there where we go through every possible angle so that when we get to this place, it makes it a lot easier for everybody. So I appreciate that, and I'm always glad to be here.
Commissioner Conrad?
Ditto. Everything he said, he took the words out of my mouth.
Commissioner Phillips?
I would like to thank the support staff. I'm still kind of finding my way, but everything is very well organized and easy to get through, and I'll just keep learning, and glad to be here. Thank you.
I'll just echo on what Commissioner Mann was saying. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't always see. A lot of meetings, a lot of sometimes the subcommittees might meet several times a month when big subjects are up. So there's a lot of that work that goes in, and I appreciate everybody's effort. All right. Next, Aubrey, you have anything else?
I do have a couple of things. Just wanted to expand a little bit on the sign ordinance amendments that Joe was talking about. So the sign ordinance is Appendix A, which doesn't necessarily require our recommendation, but it does require 2 readings of an ordinance since we don't have a public hearing for that. So we got it on this last agenda so that when our temporary uses goes to council in May, 2nd reading of the sign ordinance will go with it. The exception that we were adding was to allow them to use the little bandit signs to advertise for their temporary outdoor permit uses. So it'll go through on the same night. So just a little clarification on that. Also, the planning subcommittee, that comprehensive plan that just keeps lingering over my head. We were awarded a $250,000 grant from the General Land Office for Resilient Communities Grant Program. So that is a huge help for us. Mm-hmm. So we will get to have a professional planning firm do an updated comp plan for us. which will include like a population study, a housing study. They'll make recommendations on the changes have to be in line with the hazard mitigation plans for Galveston and Harris counties because we participate in those plans. So that will be a 3-year project. I thought it was 2, but I talked to them this week and it's actually a 3-year project. So that will be kicking. We have a kickoff meeting this month, and we'll get started on that. So
Sounds good.
Will the subcommittee, the comprehensive plan subcommittee, get to meet with them as well?
yes, yeah, I anticipate y'all being part of the team. We'll have public meetings and same thing we did when we did the future land use map, but in probably a little bit bigger fashion. So yes, absolutely, y'all will be involved. The only other thing I had was Becky is out tonight. She's at the land use conference in Austin, getting all the updates for the land use topics. And thank you to Christina. She's our administrative assistant in our department, filling in for Becky tonight.
Okay. Karen, do you have anything? No, sir. Christina, is there anything you would like to add? Okay. And with that, thank you everyone for attending this evening, and the April 10th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting is now adjourned.
6 minutes, 8 seconds.
Wow.